Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Couch Crunch Podcast. I'm your host, Nick, and I have my co-host with me, Don. Say hello, Don.
What's up, everybody? It's Don here. What is the rings? We're gonna be
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah, on today's episode, we're actually gonna be going over Lord of the Ring, the new series that's coming out on Amazon Prime Video, I believe, right? So, it's we're gonna talk about a couple of things with this series coming out. It seems like this is like a whole new introduction to the Lord of the Ring realm and of Mordor. Because like I believe this is like a whole complete new cast, obviously, and new story right before what is it, the JRR? I always forget his last name.
Tolkien.
Yeah,
Tolkien. I'm not sure if that's the right pronunciation, but
Tolkien's, yeah, the of the creator of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Ring. So this is like a whole new um, restart button on the entire series. So I don't know. There's a lot going on in like from what I've seen from the trailer. I don't know. It's like I don't know if it's the elves. We're not seeing a lot of the actual typical characters that we're used to, like the dwarves. I mean, the hobbits, the dwarves, the elves. We're seeing orcs, which are cool. I mean, we've seen the one dwarf. His name is like Prince something.
yeah, you've seen like two doors going across a bridge or something.
Yeah. So we're seeing a lot of newish characters that are being brought into, the series, which is cool. I mean, I'm all open to like at least starting a new fresh start.
Yeah,
What are your
it's like
thoughts?
a prequel.
What are your thoughts on this, man? First, I just felt like I just wanted to know like your thoughts on this.
Yeah, it's coming from somebody that's new to the Lords of the Rings. I just finished like the trilogy, so I'm all caught up now. So yeah, it seems like I'm not sure if that's the same character from the first Lord of the Rings, the elf lady that that they bumped into with in like the middle of the movie in the first one. But it looks like her. I'm not sure if it's meant to be the same character from except her like in her younger years or whatever, or if it's somebody from that same village. But it seems like she's like going to be the main character in the leading role, and we're gonna be following her through her journey and for where she's gonna be with because like I know the elves. I don't know if this is gonna be based off of it, but I'm just going off the title. It's called The Rings of Power, so I'm guessing it's going based off like one of the rings because I know the immortal men had rings and the elves had rings and the I believe the dwarves had the rings too. It was like three groups that had rings, like seven. One group had seven, and another group had three. And
You mean like that was actually taking place like in the first movie, right? Like,
right,
okay,
yeah, it was like three groups that had like a set of rings.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's like the elf, if she's like an elf or whatever, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm trying to figure out because I don't. This is to me. This is all like. I mean, it says in the description. It's way before any of those movies and all those time periods. So the ring hasn't even been created yet, right? Is what I'm assuming on like what part are they taking place. So and in this one, it's like it seems like they started a war. I had first assumed that her brother, I'm guessing the main protagonist, which is I forgot what was the character's name, Galadriel, if I'm pronouncing that right. Her brother was actually in the war. That I'm not sure what war was it. I don't know if that's the same war that Sauron was in part of in the first film.
right.
I'm not sure like what type of war we're talking about here, but it must have been like a war that was over, I'm guessing, territories because again, a lot of wars have broke out over power and territory around those times. So it was kind of like, okay, this is new. So I'm assuming like uh after that war was taking place, this is what really brings me having this curiosity of just thinking like, so her brother died, so it's like kind of like, so what is the main mission going forward? You know what I mean? It just kind of sounds like, it just kind of looks like from just the trailer, she's gonna set off to a journey to, I don't know, like that's the thing. That's what we're trying to figure out. Like there's no goal here. It's just until we see this show when it comes out, we have a little more to work on. But from what I see, it just kind of looks like after losing her brother, obviously a lot has been, she's been through a lot. She's went through lost, and she's going through a lot of different events that taking place from just the trailer. There's a lot of different cities that I'm seeing. There's like a whole new, dude. This is a whole new reset button, because these are places that are not even mentioned in any of the series. So that's why, this is why this is a whole fresh start. New characters, new cities. I'm guessing these were cities that took, or places that took place way before, the Lords of the Ring time, or Sauron, before the Great Terror arrived. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
that's to me, it's a good take. I think, the Lords of the Rings series has been going on for quite a long time. It's
Yeah.
never seen the TV show, so this is a good introduction, into especially nowadays, where it's like a lot of things are getting to shows now, especially with the Game of Thrones, that's got the House of the Dragons going on, and it's kind of the same concept with that too. It's like they're all getting before what happened, you know what I mean? And
Pretty cool.
that's cool. I mean, it is cool. Especially like if you're really into the series and you're one of those fan like you're really a big fan of those series, you also you're getting the answers to the questions that you've been wanting to be answered for a long time now. So at least that's cool, and they're giving those people chances to, not only they're giving a lot of people just opportunities to get into the series. And then if you watch the new series that just came out, now you can go, after this series finished, now you can go back if you haven't got a chance to watch the original set. You know what I mean? Like anybody who hasn't got a chance to watch the original, which I'll be confused, because like everybody has at least seen the Lords of the Ring. I know you're new to it, but I'm assuming that a lot of people have gotten a chance. If not, then that's, like I said, this is a way for you to be brought into their world. And if you like this series, then you can go back and watch the old films. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I like that. I like that when they do stuff like this, it gives people chances to at least get into the series or into that world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and plus, I imagine like a lot of the newer generation is probably not too familiar as our generation is, because we grew up on it versus like their generation, since they didn't come up in the 2000s, so
Oh yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
had to choose back and
It,
revisit it
it
for
really
the
shows
young.
our age, because when those movies came out, we were still young, but I mean, we were around to at least like, a couple of years later, like even the last film, we were old enough to at least watch all three of them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I think the last one was like 2008. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
right. Yeah, so yeah, it gives them a chance. It's all on HBO Max, so you can like just run through all three of them. Like I did. Yeah,
So,
but it seemed like, I have a feeling like this one, from the title too. I also get from the title that it might show like the beginning stages of how like the rings were created. Because you remember like in the first Lords of the Rings, it was telling the tale of like how they were just showing like a quick image of how the rings were getting smashed together and like molded and created. So this might like go into the lore of how the rings were created and show like the whole process that what was going on at that time.
mhm.
Maybe that's what I'm probably guessing from the title. But
I think that would be
oh,
boss. I think that would be awesome, like to see like how the rings were forged.
right.
Especially like, because like I said, even with the first film, they kind of already started with them. Uh, what was it? They always uniting to like, what the rings were actually in place to kind of stop war, right? That's what it was, to bring peace, I
Right.
believe.
Except for the Mordor, we got what's the guy's name?
Sauron.
Yeah, except
Yeah.
him. His was meant for chaos, and he was trying to get to the middle of the earth and
Yeah, there's
everything.
always that one, right?
Yeah. Of course, that one eye that kept coming up whenever whoever had the ring on, they got control over it. I
I
mean,
thought that
under its
I
control.
thought that was awesome though. I
Yeah,
really thought it was because for years, dude, I was trying to like figure it out. Like how the fuck, like what is that? And apparently it was like it was still him, but it was like he was like he was manifest into like a I don't know. I forgot to like how the way that they described it because I remember reading it from like an article. Um, it was like he was like a manifest, like kind of like a spiritual, like he put his soul into like that type of realm thing, like whatever that thing. It was still him, but it was like he was just a dragon's eye or some shit like that.
yeah.
It was still
It's a
cool
man.
though. I mean, the eye was like so popular for its time. But look at
Yeah, you just gain control of
I
whoever was holding it,
I
or
love the looks. I'm looking at the images right now too, and it's like the city with like the boats and the CGI production looks great. I mean, it looks
like good production and everything.
yeah, that's
So
what I'm saying. Like, dude, it looks really good. As a matter of fact, this city looks a lot like I don't remember the city in Return of the King. But I for fans out there, I'm pretty sure they know what I'm talking about, especially that long like at the last scene at the battle at the last battle where that giant building has that long bridge part. It looks just kind of like that.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm looking at the image right now. It's like it looks just like that. Beautiful sight by the way. Looks great.
Yeah, a lot of good scenery so far from what I'm seeing. Yeah, and of course, it's like high fantasy, and like you were saying, we get to explore like more areas outside of like the ones we seen in the trilogy before. It's like we get to
Yeah,
see a wider scope of this world
I I
that's up
I like
rings.
it already because it's action packed. It just there's a lot of room for that. It seems a lot of mystery going on there. Especially, I've been a fan of the series as well. I'm not gonna say that I'm a huge fan, but I am a fan of the series. So it really would honestly, uh, as far as like the mystery of like unfolding a lot of like questions of I don't know if it would be cool to see about like how the way the rings were forged and like everything that took place before all of that, but I don't know, this is like a whole nother chapter to like a whole new book, you know what I mean, like to really talk about. And I don't know. It's just like it's just gonna go in its own direction, and I'm really curious to see where it's gonna go. You know what I mean? That's the main thing I want to see from it. Um, the main character is just she seems boss, bro. Like she's looks cool as shit. Like
Hmm.
she
Yeah.
just looks like she's very aware of like what's going on. She's not like one of those typical people. I mean, like those typical main characters that are kind of like dumbasses or like they have to learn from like a lot and eventually evolve into like this better person. It kind of sounds like already from the beginning, like she already knows what she's doing and what she's got, what's going on and stuff like that. So it looks like she's really aware of like how is everything going there. Um, it looks awesome as far as like seeing the orcs come back. The makeup looks fantastic, like it did at for back in those early times of the 2000s.
Oh
Um,
yeah, the special makeup designs of the orcs. Yeah, that was always creative. The
yeah,
how
that's why I'm like, bruh, like it's cool to see those things, man.
yeah. And luckily, like even though like going back and watching the trilogy, you can tell it's kind of dated from the CGI. So of course, I imagine today now with this new series, it's probably going to be way better than that, of course. So I'm definitely hoping for that because it didn't really. It's kind of dated if you do go back to the trilogy. Looking at it, it looks like a PS2 cutscene, like those kind of graphics back then. But yeah, seeing from like the practical effects so far in the trailer, it definitely looks like it's gonna hold up pretty good.
Yeah,
So
And I mean, let's give some, some excitement to the actors as well, because um I'm not going to say they're all new actors. They might be. Um but at the same time, I can see a lot of the images on like IMDb, and I'm seeing like a lot of them look really excited to be a part of this franchise. So I'm sure like it was such an exciting experience to be a part of this project. And a lot of them look happy just getting into character, and even getting their makeup done. So, I'm sure it was fun for them, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean? That's really good to see. That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that this was in place to start a new like to start not a new franchise, but like start this whole thing all over again and see where it's going to go from this time period. Um, I hope it, and that's the main thing. I do hope where it goes. It's like if it's going to start this series, um, potentially will we see a movie from it? I'm always those guy. I'm always that guy on this show, guys. You know that. I always say, will we see something more from this? You know what I mean? Like maybe. You know what I mean? Like there's always a possibility of those things. But it seems like it's getting a lot of good reviews before it even comes out. I believe it comes out September 2nd. So this Friday, upcoming Friday.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So this upcoming Friday, it should be coming out on Amazon Prime. If you guys haven't subscribed to it yet, if you guys don't have a Prime membership, you guys should probably try to get this. If you guys want to take a chance to get to watch it.
Oh yeah, and it's actually on when the creator, John Ronald, the creator of this, the Lord
Mm.
of the Rings, he this is on his death day, when he passed away, September 2nd. So they did that on purpose to put it on the second.
Oh, he passed? I didn't even know about that.
Oh yeah, he's he passed away a long time ago.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
yeah.
And this is look, and I'm reading more about it too, and it's actually saying like the epic drama is set 1,000 years before all of that, like The Hobbit and The Lord of the Ring.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, that's why I'm saying like it's so hard to pinpoint exactly on like even just from the trailer, like you can kind of see some of the things that were in the movies, some things as far as like I said, the hobbits, some creatures, the orcs, and but as far as like the world, like the atmosphere of like the cities, uh, there is new creatures that we haven't seen there before. Um, the armor set looks kind of cool. Well, they do look cool. And just new characters, like just like it. That's why it's so hard to like really tell, like especially I've seen all three films, and it's like this is a whole new setup. So it's like it's good, man. I'm really excited for it. I'm having like high hopes for it. What are your thoughts on that though?
Oh yeah. I'm hoping for the best. I'm not the biggest fan of Lord of the Rings, but I can appreciate the legacy it led like up to this point, how long it's lasted. So I just hope for the best for it, and to see. I really wanted to see it as a good series and to continue on, especially as a prequel to explain more in the lore of like the backstory of what maybe how the rings got created or how the war started before the first one and everything. So I really want to see if it like ties into the trilogy in a way, since it's like a prequel and everything.
Yeah.
I,
As far as like being on the Lord of the Ring topic, what was, since you watched the first film, like how did the first film make you feel?
oh yeah, it's it's funny because I seen the extended version. I seen the extended version, and
Yeah.
let me tell you, if you have HBO Max and you see that, uh, you probably want to go with the regular version. But I guess if you're a super fan, that's for the super fans to see the
You
extended
you
version because
you,
that
you
shit is
gotta you
4
gotta have a
hours.
lot of time on you, huh?
Yeah, that is 4 hours long, and man. But it's cool though, because I really got to know the characters, and it kind of it was sorry, well rounded, and showing that each of the characters, their stories, and with the hobbits and the wizard of wizards and all the elves and everything, like all each group, the dwarves and all that.
Yeah.
And it's journey of Fredo's journey of him becoming the holder of the ring and everything, and it really explained of where the ring started and where it came from and the war they was in with the orcs and everything.
How did you feel about Frodo?
I hope there's no Fredo fans listening to this right now, because I really didn't like him as a main character. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really didn't like him at all. He's just like, I get it. He's supposed to be one of those characters that wasn't as strong as the rest of the group, and he's supposed to be just like the holder of the ring, just to carry it to the pit of to destroy it, carry it to his destination. But he was just like, it just seems like he was just a burden to the rest of the team, and he just kept getting
he was
sad every moment.
He was the one bringing down everybody. He was like kind of.
Yeah, he's just like, man. I mean, Fredo's cool, but as a person, but he's just like, with his hairy ass feet, he just kept stumbling and fumbling everywhere, and I was like, oh, come on, Fredo, get it together.
Yeah, but he kept falling under the powers of the ring, man. It was kind of hard because anybody that bears it actually just, actually starts seeing stuff. And well, it's not, it's as soon as you put it on, then it really attracts, like, the enemies. I forgot what those creature things were. The one on the horseman that was actually chasing them.
Oh, they're called the Nazguls.
Yeah, they're not human, right? Like they're nor dead or alive, right? They're just like
they used to be human, but then they turned into that when they got hold of the ring of from Seth. I keep forgetting his name.
Sauron.
Yeah. Under Sauron's spell of those rings they had, but yeah, they like you said, they was hunting down Fredo because he had the ring, he had his ring of Mordor, and they was pretty much trying to kill him and shit.
Damn.
Movie. But besides that, I mean, Fredo, I will give Fredo this. At least he didn't, in the beginning, at least he didn't fall under the spell as much as like the rest of the people that got hold of it before he did. Like, he was like able to withstand the power from being controlled from it,
Yeah, see, look, he's good for something.
Right. And that's why I think what's his name? Gandalf. And that's the reason why I think
everybody loves Gandalf. And that's honestly, I feel like that's what's kind of missing in the first one, though. It's, I mean, I'm sorry, not the first one, the series. It's like somebody with magic. Maybe we might see an actual wizard, which is cool, but like Gandalf was bitching. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like,
but the way he got, they took him out. That's another problem I had with the first one. Is like Gandalf had to go out like that, though. Well, I know he comes back in the second one.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Oh, is that the part where he actually he's falling down with the tree and shit? I think
it's a scene where they're running from this demon inside the cave when they're like on the way to Mordor.
Oh, you're talking about when he just slipped off the ledge, right? Like,
yeah, like when he did that spell to get rid of the demon that was chasing after him, and the demon fell, but as it was falling, with him. So it's like, yo,
run, you fools.
Gandalf had to go out like that. Like, come on, bro.
I know, and the thing is, like, nobody even went to go reach for his hand or nothing. Like, that was the part that was crazy.
Yeah, they was like, oh, well, they was all distant from him. Like, yo, boy.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know why he went out like that, but yeah. For me, I would say like my favorite character throughout the series would be Aragorn, for sure. Like, that's for me. I was gonna say Legolas, but at the same time, like, I gotta give it to my man Aragorn. Like, I feel like he carries the role of like an amazing team leader. He's not really the leader, but he knows like what he's doing. You know, he has his times where he actually fucks up a couple of times, but um you know, I think he did such a great job with protecting Frodo and, you know, just carrying the team and, you know, so being a supportive role. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he's always been that guy, man. Like
yeah.
throughout
His
all
his
throughout all three films, it wasn't even just I don't believe that I believe he wasn't in the Lord of the Ring, the Two Towers. I believe he was in there.
Oh yeah, he was.
Um he just always knew like what was like how to really take control of the situation. So I really like his character. He's always been that guy. Plus his combat skills. Ain't nobody messing with my man like that. As far as with the sword, meh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Every situation, especially in the first one, he would save somebody like from everybody on the team pretty much. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
I'm
definitely
just
a team.
I mean, it's just like I don't know. Seeing the show, man. It's amazing to see. Like we get the, you know, it's bringing back Lords of the Rings since it's been off camp. Like when was the last movie that we had? I think The Hobbit was like what 2012, maybe 13, around there. It
Oh
was
yeah,
like
that's the one I didn't see
yeah.
outside of.
I didn't see those either. I kind of took a like that's when I didn't watch it.
Yeah,
Um, So for just not seeing like some of the characters being brought back into the series. I mean that's the part that sucks, but um it kind of seems like it makes up for it because like I said, they keep the action keep going because that's really what really people draw to in Lords of the Ring. It's not just like the folk tale and the story, the lore. The lore is important, of course, but I'm saying like the action is what really draws me in personally.
yeah. I like a lot of the characters. I feel like it gets me into it. Like the character development, like seeing how the journey of how the characters go, they how they develop throughout the story and what what their roles are in this whole arc of Lords of the Rings and what things um what roles they play. I mean, in the story.
And I'm
That's what.
so and like I said, I'm seeing a lot of the orcs as well. Like that's why I'm so curious on like what. So they've been around. Excuse me. They've been around for this amount of time as well, right? Like for the lords, I mean, for the orcs, it's like they've always had like it's either kill everything in sight, or just like they're following orders by somebody. You know what I mean? So it's like um seeing that there's so many of them around this time period as well, like what is the goal for them? That's why I'm so curious like how this is gonna unfold, man.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like because it's like there's so much questions I have to ask, like
right.
what's up with the orcs being there, who's the main antagonist in the show, what's like what is the goal, what is the reason why that the main character had to set off on this journey of like after her brother's death, like is she trying to avenge the person who killed him, or like you know what I mean? It's just like I'm trying to figure this all out, man.
Yeah, or getting a hold of the rings, the power of the rings, or
I
whatever.
don't think the rings are involved at all in the series though. That's the thing. I don't think so. I think it's more about like territory or something like that. I don't know.
Because why else would they put the rings of power in the title though? That's the only thing. I think that's a significant.
I it I want to say yeah. I mean I want to agree with you, but it's like I don't know, man. I don't even see any trace of like anything about the ring at least. Like maybe in the first episode we might see like they'll tell us like the introduction on like what's going on. I don't know. I don't feel like the rings might be mentioned, but I feel like it would probably be like a season finale type deal. You know what I mean? Because I think they're just gonna focus on just talking about her her and her brothers lost, and like, or even just in introducing the characters themselves. You know what I mean? I feel like that's gonna be like the main focus for the next couple of episodes. You know, um, but I feel like if the show goes well, which I know it probably will, because the fan base for Lords of the Ring is like through the roof. So this series might do actually phenomenal. I think like we might be seeing some really good reviews when it first comes out. I'll be shocked if it's actually going to do bad. But as far as popularity, a lot of people are like really anticipating this show. So um, I really hope it does well. But if it goes, like I said, if it continues, then like I said, like maybe we can kind of get a lot of more questions answered. And like you said, the Ring of Powers, the rings of the power. Um, that's what I'm saying. I don't think like it would. I think it would just be like more explained like an additional season. Like I feel like it'll be mentioned towards the end of season 1, and then it will kind of trickle down to the next edition. Like if it goes far, it can go like at least a couple of seasons, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah. Cause like we're seeing, look, we're even seeing like I'm keep replaying like the trailer, and I'm seeing like the people like these witches that have like their hoods over their heads, like staffs. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
Um. Uh.
I know some of the witches had something to do with the elves and everything too, like in the first movie.
I just know the main story seems like it's revolved around Galadriel, which is a boss ass name, by the way. Whoever came up with that is fucking great. Like that's such a cool ass name. Um, and we're seeing a lot of different kings from its time as well. Obviously, like the Dwarf King, like I've never seen that before. That's different.
Yeah.
Um,
And I see like this one of the demons in there. It looks like the same demon that took down Gandalf. So I wonder if that's the same one. That's interesting. I just noticed
oh
that.
yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't hold on. I didn't see that. I'm just like replaying it right now. But I mean, like I said, majority of it looks like it's all new, man. Like I can't even tell you like half of these things. Like if I had something to like really like kind of zone in on and be like, yo, you know what? That was in the first, the first film or the second film, you know? But everything just looks new. Like as far as like the snowy mountains, the different areas that they're setting off to, um, the war that's what I'm saying. Like I want to know what they're fighting over. It seems like the tall guy that's actually yelling in the tree section. Like I mean, in the tree area, it seems like he has control over the trees. So that
Just like in the second one, second Lord of the Rings, with those tree,
yeah, like and that would have been cool to really talk about too, because those tree people have actually been around for centuries. Like you know what I mean? Like they've always been there.
Right.
So that's maybe they're gonna talk about that a little more. Maybe I'm not sure.
Right.
Um, but with her, man, like I don't know, man. I just feel like there's so much to really ask as far as like the character development. Like I feel like as far as like what is her goal? What is she gonna accomplish from her goal? You know what I mean? Like I don't want to ask like too many questions, but as far as like the show, I believe it's gonna do well. Um, so I'm really anticipating it. I'm hoping that it's actually gonna do really good.
Yeah.
Do you have some questions maybe that you feel like that they might answer?
Oh yeah, like I was saying before, like maybe going to why the rings were created in the first place, of like
Mm.
what's the reasoning why they want that power of, or why is the power within the rings anyway? Why can't it be inside a sword, or why is it a ring specifically?
That I mean that's not a bad. That's actually a really good question. Actually, I never really understood why the power um the powers were placed into rings. You know what I mean? I never understood it. But I believe like they were all They were. I know that much. I believe they were all. I could be wrong. Because again, like the Lord of the Ring also has books, which I think they kind of explain the same concept of the movies, but there might be some additional information within the books. I can't. Don't quote me on that. But um, I believe, like, and this is my opinion. Um, I believe the rings were all created to forge, to, like I said, to have order within the realm. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
to bring peace, because I think a lot of the tribes, they were always trying to have peace. For this time period, which is 1,000 years before all like that took place within the movies and stuff,
yeah,
I think this is where, excuse me, I think this is where they were like drawing out the blueprints for the rings, like you said. Because again, it just seems like war and a lot of chaos is just still like war was just happening, and there's nothing being done about it. So I believe like this show is kind of gonna explain what can they do to stop war, or like what can they do to at least decrease like everything that's taking place. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what they're gonna be focused on, because it would make sense.
right. Like
You know
gain
what I
control of
mean?
those
Because
tribes.
this
Yeah,
is this is during the era where it's like everybody's animals, you know, in a way that it's like everybody's kind of like trying to just fight over territories, fight over, you know. I don't know if there was any currencies or anything like money or anything. Maybe food, just killing shit. You know what I mean? Just randomly, like just killing people for no reason.
yeah, because it's like based around like medieval times in a way. Yeah,
Yeah, and during those times, it was either the smallest things or even territories. You know what I mean? Um, so that's why I'm saying like it's just so interesting to see like so many of these things like kind of, you know, maybe we'll that's kind of like the ballpark that they're in is my assumption. But I'm really gonna hang on to like what you said about the rings, because you're right. I didn't even think about the title for a second. I was like, oh shit, it is actually called the Ring of like Powers. But I don't know if you know, because we don't see anything of the rings though in the trailer. But it seems like they really secluded a lot out of the trailer. They don't want you to know anything. You know what I mean? It's just like a way. It's like a way for you to draw. It's a way for them to draw, you know, the audience in to like, oh, okay, so you guys need to check out the show if you guys want to know more about it.
right.
If it's on
Really,
Amazon, if it's on Amazon Prime, I believe, I don't think we will have to wait and like per episode. I think they'll just drop the entire first season,
oh, okay.
which is great. You know, that's exactly why I think it's amazing that, you know, this streaming services was placed, because if it was fucking, you know, God, no, look, I'm not talking about Disney Plus in a bad way, but that's the part I can't stand about Disney Plus. We always have to wait. I'm just like, if it's good, man, I'm not saying I want to rush it, but I'm always like, if it's really good, it's like I want to watch the entire season. And then it does make sense to just watch the entire season, like from 1 to 10, or if it's 1 to 7 or whatever the case is. And then we'll wait, you know, a year or so, whatever the case is, for the next season. It's just better that way, instead of fucking having to wait one day and then now you gotta wait till next week to find out what's going on in the next episode. Like I always hated that. But see, where we grew up, we had no choice. You had to watch one episode per week. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Some people still like that formula because they like to, have all their
They
friends
like,
catch up with them and be able
yeah.
to talk about it throughout the week, and then go to the next episode and then
Yeah,
do the same.
that does give people time to really like anticipate like what's gonna happen in the next episode. Or it's like if you're one of those people that just don't have enough time to sit and binge watch the entire season, it's like at least like if you watch one episode, that's fine, and now you have plenty of time to do your day-to-day stuff. And then, you know, you can come back to like, you know, when the next episode airs on TV. So the only thing I have an issue with that is like I fucking hate commercials and ads. That's just my opinion. I can't stand them. I'd rather just watch the entire thing straightforward.
Right. Yeah, and plus, I think the reason why also they do it that way is so they avoid spoilers. So like if it's like just a straight shot, people just ramble about it online and they spoil the whole season in one go. But this way, it's like spread out and you get to watch episode by episode and people get to catch up faster. I think that's the reason why they do it that way.
But for it being on Amazon Prime Video, I believe it's actually gonna go. It's not gonna be episode because they've never done that. I've watched plenty of like Prime Video's exclusive TV shows, and they tend to just throw out the entire season. They don't just go by one episode.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. People would just binge it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it says the first episode airs, obviously the day that I said it. Well, actually, look at this. It actually airs, it says September 2nd, but it actually on here it says it actually airs September 1st, Thursday. So it's good.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. So the original release date seems like the original release date is September 2nd. That's weird. I don't know if there's just I thought it was September 2nd, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. September 2nd.
Yeah, but on IMDb, it's actually saying September 1st, premieres September 1st. So it's actually coming out Thursday. Okay. So it comes out Thursday. There's no time frame. I mean, like, there's no like specific time. I think like as soon as Thursday arrives, like midnight, maybe they'll probably put it up there, or probably 3 a.m, like Disney Plus. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I think I think that's it's a great deal that it's actually on this platform, man. For me, because I know I'm gonna be able to look, and then there's already 9 episodes already in place as well. So, look at this, look, they're already anticipating season 2 already.
Oh yeah.
See what I'm saying? No, look, like it's already on IMDb. Like the first season hasn't even came out yet, and it's like already in place. Like that's what I mean. 8 episodes per season 1. That's not bad. And look at this. I was wrong actually. This is the first time that they're doing this. So the first episode is September 1st. And then it says September for episode 2 is September 2nd. So we're getting 2 in one shot, which is cool. And then the third episode is September 9th, then the 16th, then the 23rd, then the 30th, then 7th and 14th of October. So this would be the first Prime Video. I mean, again, from what I've experienced, usually they just drop the entire season. So, but this is the first show that's like, okay, so now we got to do it by the episodes. I'm not mad at it, but it sucks.
They do it on some of the shows. I know The Boys do that too. Like they spread it out.
Yeah, I watched The Boys for a little bit. Not my favorite. I might get a lot of hate for that, but we will talk about that on another episode.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying it because that's on Amazon Prime, and they spread it out when they release season 3.
That's weird because even the Terminal List, like with Chris Pratt, that was like a full season that he dropped for that.
Yeah, it's just like Netflix. Like some shows drop it all at once.
But why?
It just depends on the company what they want to do.
So they think by maybe by milking the experience, I guess. I have no idea. Maybe it's just like you said, most people just kind of want to, just do it like that.
Yeah. Like I said, they just try to avoid spoilers and they try to really spread it out throughout the year so more people talk about it.
I'm greedy. I'm more of a one-shot guy. Like, I'll just be like, just give me the entire show.
Yeah. I totally get too that just like binge watch it.
Yeah, that's what especially if you don't got nothing going on the most of the day, you just trying to take a time off and relax and boom, like, you know what I mean? Like, why not?
Yeah, it just all depends on what kind of consumer you are. That's all.
But yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I really have high hopes for this series for sure.
It's not all positive when I'm seeing with the show. It is a lot of backlash on it as well. But
yeah, I didn't. What are some of the backlash? I actually didn't. I don't see any backlash. But I mean, if you see some, you can bring it up. That's good.
Yeah, because like if you just type in like Lord of the Rings on YouTube, Amazon trailer, you'll see like some people are not really saying much about it, and some people are like really not liking like some of the aspect of some of the characters and like some of the the actors that are being hired
You
and roles.
probably got some of the fans that are kind of like, why is this happening? Like like we don't even need this.
Yeah,
You
it's like
know,
it seems like they're not mad at it's like a prequel or anything, but they're mad at like some of the people that are in it. You know, I guess like some of the actors that were in here, so that's going to be the main cast. I guess like they have like some issues in the past or something. I don't know. It seems like, but
I have no idea. I like, it seems like even the main character that, Galadriel, the actor who plays her, which is her name is uh Muk dude, that's a hard name to pronounce. I'm not gonna lie. Mukfeed Clark? I don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry, I butchered that. I'm terrible with names. But she's only done like 27 movies as far as credited goes. You know what I mean? So she seems like she's relatively new. So like I said, man, the guy, I'm always open to uh giving people chances. It's like as soon as I see like how they really took charge of that role and did a terrible job with kind of executing some of the acting, like certain scenes, it's like now I see why, like, yeah, people are not liking this.
I see what's the problem people have with like some of the characters that they have casted in this series. Like in a promotion, like in interviews, they're not really promoting the show. They're really mostly promoting just ideas of just politics and like just their inputs on like society stuff outside of the show. They're not really promoting the show. So I think people are like having a problem with them not talking about what's the show about or like promoting what's the lore of what's going to be what to expect in the show. It's just
That's
things outside of the show, which I can understand because I don't like when they go off track of not talking about the show. It's like, what's the point of the interview? This is the main point.
yeah, yeah. They tend to go off course a little bit sometimes when it comes to stuff like that. But what do they mean by political view though? That's the part I'm kind of confused on. Like, um,
It's just like the things of today with feminism and like
oh, gotcha. I
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, a lot of things that surround around like that kind of topic.
Oh, so that's probably what people were saying. They're not sticking towards like what the real meaning behind the Lords of the Rings are. Like they kind of seems like they're kind of just like implementing on like what's going on in today's society and kind of placing it into the show. I get it. It doesn't seem that way, but I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say for me, you know?
Yeah. It's like it's one thing if you just derail for a little bit, but if that's like your main thing during the interviews of trying to promote the show, you're supposed to talk about the show.
Yeah,
That's
then
the
then the show is not gonna go well, man. If you're not focusing on like what the show actually means behind like everything, like it's revolving the show, it's like, okay, it's not gonna do well.
yeah. Like it'd be better if you just talk about like the character that you're playing as an actor. Like give the audience a good idea what the character could be like, or like like little hints. Of course, not spoil or anything, but just just like any other promotion would do, any other shows. But I don't know. I don't know
Mm.
where their reasoning is to do that. I think it's just to appeal to a wider audience of people that like that kind of stuff. But typically, that kind of audience, they don't strive for like shows like this.
Development, or anything like that nature, I would
Yeah,
say.
like pop culture of just like reality shows. That's more of that crowd, more or less, than.
Yeah, I don't think like the creators of the show was actually just targeting just that specific audience. I think that they're looking at it from like a general standpoint.
Yeah, this is, as we know, is Lord of the Rings. It's more of a fantasy. it's just to take you outside of the world we're living in. It's not to put you into what we're
Which
living.
it's doing a fantastic job doing. Even the trailer, I'm blown away. That's what I'm saying. I like it, man.
Right.
And as soon as the first episode pops off, we will be doing a review on it for sure. We will come back on an episode on the show for you guys to to get a better understanding of the show. These are all just examples and thoughts of what the show could be. So obviously it's just our opinions on the show, but I think like we definitely want to do an episode of that, but I think, like I said, I'm going to stand by a lot of my opinions on it because I think that's just what I believe the show is going to be about.
Yeah. We shall see.
That sucks though. I didn't even know it was getting like a lot of backlash though. I thought it was actually getting a lot of good positive feedback.
Yeah. You got like half and half, you got
I was going to say I think that's like for everything out there. It's always like that too.
Yeah, especially nowadays, people could be real critical depending on what it is.
Yeah,
some is justified and some is not,
Yeah. That's why there's always like someone in the middle ground. That's who we are. We don't take sides. We just kind of just stay in the middle and kind of try to take bits and understanding of from both perspectives. But at the same time, it's like we could try to just come together and kind of appreciate that at least like they took the time to bring the show back. I mean, the franchise back. I know it's a TV show and probably a lot of people were not saying like, we rather had got a movie instead. And be that as it may, cool. I mean, that is something that we could have wanted, but I mean, let's just not be greedy now and let's just take for what we have. Like I'd say I'm grateful for it. Let's just see where it goes. If it's shitty, well, they tried. That's it. That's all you can say. They tried. And of course, I wish it's easier said than done because, the internet won't let that slide. They'll be like, you destroyed this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially the Lord of the Rings fans. I know they're like ride or die.
There's a pack of wolves out there and they pretty much you're feeding them to the wolves, man.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's a good point you brought up too, that it's like more of a series than movies. Because I was thinking that when I was watching the trilogy, that I was like, this probably would have been better since it's like 4 hours long, this extended version, if it was like a show. Like it would have been.
Yeah, it would have. That's what I'm saying. I thought it would have been. Yeah, it would have been actually a really good series for it to pop off like that. Even a book. Like it was. I don't know if it was a book for. I think it was a book first before it became a film.
Yeah, that's what this whole thing's based off of, the book of J.R.R. He wrote this book back in 1968.
Oh, so, damn! It goes that far back. I didn't even know all that. Like,
oh, sorry. The first publication came out July 29th, 1954. So even before that.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. So it nearly took almost how many years? Like that's like almost 40 years, right? Almost.
I don't know if you're aware, but before like the trilogy came out in 2000, it was a movie that came out in 1978 that actually was the first Lord of the Rings movie. That's the first actual one that came out.
You said 1959. You said.
The book came out in 1954, and the first movie came out in 1978.
So as far as like continuing from like the book, it nearly took for them. Oh wait, they made another film before the 2001?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The first actual Lord of the Rings came out 1978.
All right, so 1953, 1978. And wait.
Yeah,
so it took 25 years for it, and then 47 years basically for it to, for us to catch like the 2001 film. That's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know the series goes that far back. Wow.
Oh yeah, this book is really old. It's a real old book.
Wow. Oh yeah. So then, yeah, if this franchise stretches out for that long of that period, like at that long of period, like most people are most definitely gonna definitely be like, yeah, this is dog shit. Like they're gonna shit on it. They are.
They got generations and generations of
Yeah,
fans.
that's what I'm saying. Because they already have their mind set on like a specific way on how the show should, like, on the franchise should be done. So, for them to kind of change it up, but it's kind of expected though. It's like you can't keep everything the same forever, Like,
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. You don't.
how they go about it.
It's how you go about it. That's the key. That is exactly. You just nailed it. I think it's all about how you execute it, and that's what I'm saying. Just don't go. We're seeing trailers. It hasn't came out yet. I say give it a chance.
Yeah,
Like let's see where it goes. If it doesn't do well, then we know. They know. They'll know.
yeah. I always say give it a 3-episode chance. If it's not good about 3 episodes, well, that's what I usually do. If it's not good
Yeah.
about 3 episodes, then it's like, all right, I see where it's gonna go.
Don's like, all I need is 3. That's it.
Yeah,
And I don't even know how long the episode, like, per episode is going to be, right? Like, I don't know, like, what's the length of it?
I feel like it's gonna go on with the trend now, probably like an hour or
Hour,
so.
yeah, yeah. It's probably gonna be an hour.
Yeah, makes sense because it's a lot of lore in Lord of the Rings, of course. So that'd be good.
Well, definitely. I definitely want to see where this is gonna head, man. I got it. Like I said, like plenty of times on this episode, I want to see where it heads, and I have all good positivity for it to see where it goes. I'll be paying attention to the reviews and stuff like that, and definitely on the comments we receive on our social media pages and YouTube as well. But yeah, I think we covered about everything on this episode. Don, you have anything to add?
Oh, that's about it. Oh, and yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing.
Yeah,
That
yeah. Go
that
ahead, man.
that first film that came out in 1978, I checked out little clips of it, and that's actually the first thing I've seen of Lord of the Rings. When I first known of Lord of the Rings, that 1978 film, it's actually like it's animated, but it's like rotoscope, so it's like people live action, but it's like drawn on top of the people that are acting it out. It's like a style animation, but yeah, it's like you can like put up.
Oh, I'm seeing it now. Look, yo, that cover looks like that shit looks awesome though.
Yeah, it's cool how they did it back then. Like they used the resources how they could, but it's like if you put it against like the 2001 version, it's like side by side. They literally took like frames from that movie and they put it in the 2001 version, and
Hmm.
I thought that was cool that you could like compare the two because it's pretty much telling the same story of that beginning part of Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
the Fellowship of the Ring. That's what that one's called. Yeah.
It looks well done now. I'm looking at the trailer for the 1978. It looks actually really good. Shit.
Yeah, it was good for the time. It was cool.
Yeah.
You would really pick up a lot of the scenes from the 2001,
Yo,
and
and
you'll
it
see
actually looks really good for it. Like the animation style, man. Like this shit looks good.
yeah,
Damn.
it's rotoscope.
Yo, you just taught me something today, man. I didn't even know that. That's cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, that came out, man, 70s.
All right, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like for especially going based off this film, it's got a 6.2. I think it's still that's still good score to me. Um, so that's what I'm saying. Even just going based off this film, or even just the stories and stuff like that, for people who's really been aware of the way the stories go, like is always gone, they already have that expectation on like how the show should be run. So especially seeing on how like this is kind of like changed a lot, I don't think a lot of people are like open to that. That's the thing.
Right. And I imagine a lot of people by now read the original book, so I'm
Oh
pretty sure.
yeah, for sure. You had plenty of time, especially after the first 3 films already now. Like yeah, it's been a long time now.
Yeah, so a lot of people are gonna go to the actual source and see the comparison of how they're gonna do it in live action. So we shall see how it's well if it's done or not.
All right. All right. Well, I think that covers everything. I don't think I have anything to add on that. We hope you guys enjoy, the Lord of the Ring, the Rings of Power. I'm sorry. Comes out on Amazon Prime Video. If you guys haven't got a chance to, subscribe to Amazon Prime, this will be your chance to really check it out. And especially if you're new to the Lord of the Ring franchise, this is definitely your opportunity to dive into the franchise, see what you guys like. So we definitely hope you guys enjoy that. We hope you enjoyed in all the content that we actually covered on today's episode. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I think that's about it. I think we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Yeah. Peace.
All right. Peace.